to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we ask your blessing on the proceedings today. We ask your guidance as we conduct the people's business. We pray for all those who are serving in the armed forces at home and abroad and their families, that they may return to them soon. We ask your blessing on this nation as we come together, as we go forward with our elected officials to continue the American dream. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, David. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Wall.
Right.
Councilman Woodrow.
Here.
Councilman Marble. Here. Councilman Clement.
Here.
Supervisor Waller.
Here. Are there communications and petitions?
There are. Dear Mr. Waller and the town board, please accept this letter as my official notification that I will be retiring from the town highway department, and my last day of work will be November 28, 2020.
I make a motion we refuse to accept Harry Martell's resignation letter.
Also,
Harry continues to work here for the rest of his natural life. He's doing such a great job. You're not up for that, right, Harry? Thank you.
keep reading. I want to thank you for the last 25 years and for the great opportunities that I've experienced while working for the highway department, especially the last 13 years of being the highway superintendent. Although I'll miss everyone I've worked with through the years, I'm looking forward to my next adventure of retirement. Again, I want to thank you for providing me a great work environment, and I've truly enjoyed working at the highway department. Harry Martell, Highway Superintendent. That was hard. Yes.
Okay. We'll have more on that at some future time. Copies of the town board meeting minutes of October 6th and the agenda and special meeting minutes of October 27th have been distributed to the board. Are there any requests for corrections, additions, or deletions? And if not, can I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are adopted as published. Our next item on the agenda is committee reports. The first report is the financial report, the town supervisor, the general account. The balance on hand as of October 1st in the general account, $24,098.14. Total receipts amounted to $238,630. Transfer from the general savings account in the amount of $400,000. Total disbursements in the month of $373,756.41. Transfer for debt service payment $19,953.14. Transfer to the general savings account $240,000, leaving us a month-end balance in the general account of $29,018.59. The general savings account, the balance on hand as of October 1st is $2,915,932.58. Total receipts amounted to $67,321.21. Transfer from the general account in the amount of $240,000. Transfer to the payroll account in the amount of $226,022.68. Interest received, transfer to the general account, $400,000. Interest received on the general savings account, $44.51, leaving us a balance in hand in the general savings account at the end of October of $2,597,275.62. The landfill savings account, the balance on hand at the start of the month was $855.18. We received 1 cent in interest on that account, and the balance on hand at the end of the month is now $855.19. Our petty cash report for the month of October, petty cash expenses total $53.60, and they were all for postage for various departments in the government. And finally, the abstract report for the month of October, total audited vouchers amounted to $217,154.26. Payments made in advance of audit, $18,472.93. Are there any questions or comments from the board? If not, please, can I have a motion to pay the bills, reimburse petty cash, and to accept the financial report?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Councilman Wall.
Yes.
Councilman Woodrow.
Yes.
Councilman Marble. Yes. Councilman Clement.
Yes.
Supervisor Waller.
Yes. Our next report is our Committee on Highway, Wastewater Treatment, Water Authority, Cemetery, and Museum Operations. Councilman Jim Woodrow. Jim?
Thank you, Supervisor. Good evening, everybody. For the Water Commissioners for the month, Waterworks delivered approximately 32,200,000 gallons, or 1,073,000 gallons of water during the month. Water distribution system work, the staff completed big safe utility locations and service calls. A total of 48 service calls and 39 utility locates were addressed. In addition to calls, staff calibrated and maintained equipment, completed monthly water testing, and completed meter reading. And that report was submitted by Ed Hernandez. For the wastewater for the month of October, they removed 4,000 gallons of sludge to Walden County and 52,000 gallons of sludge to Saratoga County. Answered 4 alarms, 1 phone line issue, and 3 from power, of which 1 alarm included every pump station and the plant. I almost read Planet, but it seemed like Planet at the time. Normal maintenance performed or check all pump stations and clean the floats as needed. Continued maintenance of outside grounds and vehicles. Removed the influent primary grease from the primary tanks and weirs. Winterized and shut down the boat pump out system at the visitor center for the winter season. Worked with Jerson Construction on the James Drive and Murray Avenue airlift pump station replacement projects. Disassembled and helped remove the portable diesel pump from Kansas Bath Ridge pump station. Verizon has repaired the phone line issue at James Drive pump station. Moved the flight scraper and cross collector gearboxes and motors on the roadside final clarifier and helped Troy belting on the installation of the new replacements. Used the sewer camera at 94 Davis Avenue on a lateral inspection for the homeowner and confirmed a root issue. And respectfully submitted by Craig Falcone. And Craig had a very busy month this month. Craig, thank you very much for seeing through everything that was seen to. For the historian for the month, Russ is busy as usual in his little way here. He's working with Saratoga County Historical Society on a program concerning country or canal side stores. In conjunction with stewards, traveling displays are being scheduled as kiosk historical units. There was a grocery store at the Waylock near the current day Division Street Bridge, and Russ is looking into preparing some material for that. He's in the early stages of research on a fever epidemic in Waterford in 1805 and 1806. It looks like it concerned water contamination from a spring in the village and a creek that was redirected about 1913 and ran through current-day Garrett Field to the Mohawk River. 11 Waterfordians succumbed to the effects of the fever. It's beginning to look like the New York Medical Society was formed by the Waterford doctor John Stearns, who treated the Waterford people. He and 2 other doctors from Boston Spa and Saratoga Springs were the catalysts to form the society, based largely on the lessons learned from the Waterford fever. Every fever has a name to it, same way. John Stearns became the society's first secretary, and by 1816 was its president. The society still exists today. Some increased activity in the past month on the Facebook page, and that report was submitted by Russ Vandervoort of the Waterford Canal and Towback Society and the town historian as well. I've saved the best for last because this is Harry Martell's final report to the board. Town Highway Department rebuilt the manhole on Sage Avenue and replaced curbing on Van Ness Street, and also paved potholes on Museum Lane, Short Fulton Street, Bells Lane, and Linda Lane. We also did 25 utility location requests from Big Safely. Leaf and yard waste collection days are Monday through Friday. Highway crew is going through the town with our leaf vacuum for curbside pickup. We will continue vacuuming up leaves until November 30th, weather permitting, and the leaf vacuum will be taken out of service until next fall. Please put your leaves on the road's edge and not in the roadway. The town parks department has closed all the town parks for the season. Also, everybody's reminded that all town residents about putting acceptable and unacceptable items in their trash cans. If you put any unacceptable items in your cans, it will not be picked up until it is removed. If you are in need of a new garbage can or a recycling can, please call the town clerk's office at 235-8282. And if you have any questions, call the highway garage at 235-3413. Equipment maintenance for a month, 14 hours. General maintenance, 601. Trash drop-off, which has ended for the year, 45 3/4. Miscellaneous, 623. Garage maintenance, 14. And parts, 128. And in closing, I'd like to say that we will talk more about Mr. Martell's retirement in the future. He will be coming back. If any residents would like to come at the next board meeting, we will celebrate his years of service in a proper way, I believe. Harry, I will miss you more than everybody up here, and good luck.
Thank you.
Now you get to call me play golf. Not about everything else in highway.
I'll take that one.
You've been a great employee for this town and this board. Your service to the community and the residents has been exemplary. And you should be proud of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's my report.
Our next report is the Committee on Public Safety, Emergency Services, and our liaison to village government, Councilman Dave Ball. David?
Thank you, Supervisor. I also want to commend Harry for the excellent interaction he's had with the Waterford Fire Services, the Waterford Police Department, and the Waterford Rescue Squad at times of troubles. You've been there, and you guys have been there, along as part of the team, and helping everybody out in good times and bad. So, Harry, again, thank you very much. For the month of October, the police department was very busy. There was a total of 556 calls responded to for services. There was a total of 76 traffic tickets issued for the month, and there were recorded 10 arrests for various charges also. We've seen that we're not immune. Waterford is not immune, like we're very unfortunately in the crosshairs when it comes to the issues of drug overdoses and fentanyl and heroin and things like that. And, unfortunately, we've seen a little uptick in those kinds of cases where, unfortunately, it's cost people's lives foolishly and needlessly. The rescue squad, the police department, everybody else has done their best to intervene when necessary by administering Narcan, but we can't be all places all the time and help all people. And unfortunately, we've had several unattended deaths due to drug overdose in this community, and it continues to be a scourge across the nation. And again, we see our almost share right here in Waterford. Unfortunately, there's a way to help out and reach somebody, or get somebody to turn around. There are resources available, and if you reach out to the police department in particular, or one of the members of the rescue squad, if you need help, you need advice, you need to be directed to somebody, we're here, we have the resources, we can send you to go to 2 places to get help. So we can only ask that you try. The Waterford Rescue Squad also scored a heck of a buy last month. They have an ambulance that has some major issues and was going to need extensive repair, amounting to a substantial amount of money. And a new ambulance will cost about $186,000 today to have a fully rigged EMS first responder unit. They were able to secure through a vendor locally a very high-tech and updated ambulance for approximately $9,000, $7,000 to $9,000. It was formerly with the Providence Ambulance Department Rescue Squad. It went out of service. There's relatively low mileage for this unit and will serve the purposes of the Waterford Rescue Squad well going forward. So they're able to save themselves and taxpayers and the people they serve a tremendous amount of money and put almost a brand new rig on the road for a heck of a price. I want to thank that vendor for helping them out as well. Supervisor, I think one other thing I want to touch on, you may or may not be aware that November 1st, the New York State traffic law has initiated the requirement for seat belts, backseat occupants over the age of 16. I've seen in the papers recently where in most cases, because it is a new law, you may or may not be familiar with it, but please be advised that it is a law. If for some reason at some point there will be some enforcement of that law down the road, I think most people are just being made aware of that at this point in time and advised that there is a law and they need to comply or should comply for their own safety as well. So I just want to make sure
Supervisor. Good evening, everybody. Just a couple of quick items here I'd like to bring up with regard to veterans. As we are all aware, Veterans Day is upon us. Normally, we would invite our VFW post to come and post the colors and in discussions with the leadership, and we decided to skip that this year just simply because of the numbers of folks in the building and at the meetings and because of COVID. Also wanted to let everybody know in the community that normally the VFW holds their annual chicken and biscuit dinner on Veterans Day, which they have also canceled this year due to COVID. But I did want to make the community aware that our VFW is still here, and they are still standing ready to serve the community. And even though their fundraiser has been canceled, if anybody does want to support the VFW, I'd like to provide their mailing address for donations. The Waterford VFW Memorial Post 5800. And checks can be sent to P.O. Box 161, Waterford, New York 12188. So if anybody does want to support the VFW, they can make the checks out again to Waterford VFW Post 5800, P.O. Box 161, Waterford, New York. That's my report on veterans. Moving on to seniors. Report on our medical transportation and grocery bus. Our medical lift bus, we served 31 appointments in the month of October and drove a total of 725.8 miles. For our grocery bus, which runs typically every Wednesday, we took 39 seniors and drove a total miles of 106. A reminder to those who do count on our grocery bus, due to Veterans Day, next week on the 11th, the grocery bus will run on Friday the 13th. So we will not run on Veterans Day, we will run on Friday the 13th. Any questions about our senior transportation, either for medical appointments or the grocery bus, they can contact our driver, Andy Walters, at 518-527-4589. And Andy's been doing a great job, particularly during the pandemic, for us with that transportation service. One other item I'd like to bring up for our seniors, this comes from the Saratoga County Office for the Aging. It's that time of year again where the Home Energy Assistance Program is open. The Home Energy Assistance or HEAP program is a federally funded program that assists lower income households with the cost of heating their homes during the winter months. The 2021 regular HEAP program has begun on November 2nd, and then the emergency HEAP program will begin and open on January 4th. The tentative closing date for HEAP is mid-March. The Saratoga County Office for the Aging will be accepting applications for persons 60 years of age and older, as well as those under 60 and disabled, beginning on November 2nd by appointment, for in-person drop-offs or by mail. Households that receive a HEAP benefit last year will automatically be mailed an application for this year's program. If you would like to receive an application or make an appointment, you may call the HEAP desk at 518-884-4111. Applications will be mailed out when the program opens, which was this week on the 2nd. The office will have applications available again if any member of the household is on SNAP. Please contact your SNAP caseworker at 518-884-4155. And the HEAP program provides a once-a-year benefit which is credited directly to your heating account. Regular benefit amounts are based upon households' gross monthly income and commodity used to heat your home. So again, any questions, call the Office for the Aging, 518-884-4111. And that is my report.
Thanks, Frank. Our next report is the Committee on Youth, Playground, Pools, Festivals, Library, and Waterford Afternoon School Liaison, Councilwoman Lori Marble. Lori?
Thank you, Jack. As you can tell, all my departments, other than there's just a couple involved, the highway department and Harry, so you know I'm going to miss him a lot, and whoever replaces him, I'm really going to break them in. So I hope it's an easygoing guy, just like you. unfortunately will not take place this year due to COVID. Please watch for a special virtual event that will take place on November 28th at 7 p.m. and we'll have more information will be posted soon. We do have a drive-through food drive hosted by the town of Waterford on Saturday, November 14th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Waterford Senior Center parking lot, 125 2nd Street. The food drive will benefit the 3 food pantries we have here in Waterford. There'll be a free giveaway to the first 25 cars. This event was organized by the town clerk and the town clerk's deputy. We do have a flyer that's out and about with some suggestions as far as donations. Gives you a little bit more information on that. Saturday, November 21st, there'll be a toy drop for the Capital Region Toys for Tots. Andy Walters, who is one of our local vets. He's our Community Toys for Tots coordinator. He's organized the toy drop at the Waterford Half Moon School from 12 to 4 p.m. This will be a joint effort with the National Honor Society and some members of the town board. In 2018, the Capital Region Toys for Tots was recognized as the #1 campaign in the nation. In 2019, 224,624 toys were distributed to 195,999 less fortunate children within the Capital Region and surrounding hard-to-reach areas. Every toy makes a difference, and every child deserves a Christmas. And Andy says thank you for your support. We do have these posters that will be out and about too. Like I said, he's one of our local vets. And since his Rock for Tots program was canceled this year, he's going to do the toy drop at the school. The news from the school is glad to report there is no direct COVID cases right now. There are a few cautionary quarantines due to family members. There's no definite date for the winter sports program yet. The fall girls tennis team has completed and competed and is currently 4-0 with 3 games left. And on Thursday, tomorrow night, is the school board meeting. The library, on Monday, November 9th, they will modify their service model to allow limited in-building browsing Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Curbside pickup will still be available by request, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday hours will remain 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The library will be open on Veterans Day from 10 to 5. News from the Canal Visitor Center from Jeff Cleary, the harbor master. The New York State Canal System closed on October 14th. The federal lock at Troy remains open until November 30th. Special thanks to the Highway Superintendent Harry Martell and his team for their assistance in removing the docks. Also, a special thank you to Paul Terry for another year of making our waterfront look great and stay in good working order. For the shortened season, Waterford welcomed 381 boaters from 39 states and 3 Canadian provinces. Our volunteers recorded 1,230 hours since July 1st. To all of our volunteers, thank you so much for showing up in difficult times. We look forward to a bright new year with Canal Fest scheduled for May 15th and 16th, 2021. Steamboat Meet on July 3rd, the Dragon Boat Festival in August, and the return of Tugboat Roundup on September 10, 11, and 12. And I believe that's all I have for tonight, Jack.
Thank you, Lori. I just want to take a second before we move on to general orders. Got a couple of other pieces of business that are not on the agenda here this evening. But before I do that, I want to share the board's thoughts and respect and admiration for Harry Martell, and some sadness at him leaving. We're happy that he's moving on to something that he's ready to have a better, more fun chapter of his life. No more 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock snow plows. No more angry residents wondering why you didn't plow their road first. It's a thankless job in a lot of ways you did, Harry, and you did it remarkably well. You always exhibited, and still do for that matter, a lot of class, a lot of patience. For people who don't know, Harry started as a laborer in the department, went on to become a foreman in the department, and when the opportunity presented itself, the board was very, very comfortable making Harry the highway superintendent, a job that he has ceremony, which we will thoroughly embarrass you to no end, I hope. But again, a remarkable career in service to your hometown. You've lived your life here, you've given so much back to the community, and on behalf of everybody in town government, but probably in the town, because I'm sure you've met most people here. Thank you so much for a job well done, and have a great retirement, enjoy it. I know you and Mary have got some plans to do a little traveling, relax a little bit. So best of luck to you. I know we'll continue to see you around. You're not leaving, are you leaving town? You're not leaving town, right? We'll know where to find you, right? If we need you. Okay. Fantastic job, Harry. Thanks for everything you've done over these many years. And with that, somebody retires and somebody gets hired. They made a movie about that, I guess, right? The Circle of Life. As Harry moves on this evening, at the same time tonight, I would like to take a moment. You'll see an item on the agenda, a resolution to appoint a new building inspector. With us this evening is Kyle Woodard. Kyle, would you stand up, please? Kyle is joining us. He has been the building inspector for the... Can we wait a second, Russ?
Please.
We have to wait for the hamsters to get up enough speed again and start to take the floor. Thank you, Russ. Kyle joins us from the city of Rensselaer, where he has been the director of their building and code enforcement department. Brings to us a great deal of experience, a lot of great ideas, and he will be replacing Glenn, who did a great job here. He's moved on to another position, and I think we are very fortunate to have an opportunity to hire somebody with Kyle's enthusiasm and experience, and we know you're going to have a great career here. I asked Kyle to come tonight. Not all the board members have met him, and I want to hang around a little bit and chat with some board members. That'd be great. He was interviewed by myself and the town engineer and the town planning director, and we're very, very happy to bring Kyle on board tonight. So Kyle, thanks for coming tonight, and may you have a long, illustrious career. It won't be us 25 years from now bidding you goodbye and happy retirement, but I certainly hope your career goes that well as Harry's has here. So. The other thing we're going to do tonight, I'm going to ask Councilman Dave Ball to actually introduce our next guest. Each community in New York State, every municipality with a police department, is required under Governor Cuomo's Executive Order 203, to conduct an exercise to review our police procedures to make sure that they are fair and equitable, that the community is well protected, well served, and fairly served and fairly protected. Every community has to do this exercise. The exercise has to be completed in April. It'll culminate with a plan and a report, which will be the end product of the process. That plan is then presented to the town board. The town board then decides to approve the plan, and I expect that we would. And so I'm going to ask Dave Ball if he could introduce our next speaker, who I would like to give an overview and a presentation of the process and all the work that's gone so far. So David, and Dave, Councilman Ball has been very much involved in this process now for several months, and he will be heading up this effort on behalf of the town board. Go ahead, David.
Thank you, Supervisor. I'd like to introduce Sergeant Michael Schutt. Sergeant Schutt, please come forward. Sergeant Schutt has been lead officer on the day shift for several years now. And Mike is grew up in Waterford, lives here, works here every day. When we got the governor's copy of the governor's executive order, we began to delve into it and look at all the parts and pieces of it and try to grasp the significance of it and how it might apply to a community like Waterford. We are similar to many, but different than others, and every community has its own unique set of circumstances. They might find themselves in front of the ball, they're in the back of the ball when it comes to policies, procedures, things like this. We decided to get into this thing with both feet, and Sergeant Shutt volunteered his time and to really get into it from a blue uniform perspective, and to work in a cooperative effort with the town board to comply with the executive order, meet the timetables there, and make a meaningful product when we're done that makes the community stronger and our police efforts stronger as well. Sergeant Shutt, can you give us an overview?
Thank you, Supervisor Waller and Town Board for having me. I just do want to say thanks, Harry. It's been great working with you. And he was always happy. We'd call him at 3 in the morning and tell him the roads are getting a little slick, and he always answers the phone in a good mood, so that was always nice. Yeah, after some incidents across the country that we don't need to get into specifics of, Governor Cuomo did issue this executive order instructing all police departments in conjunction with their municipalities to take a look at not only policy and procedure, but kind of every day how we do things, and work with our communities and see how we can possibly improve things or reform to make sure that everything is above board, and that we're working as a partnership with the community. So in response to that, one of the things that we have to do is conduct an internal review. That's been underway for quite some time. We do have the distinction of being an accredited agency in New York State. We're actually the only municipal police department in Saratoga County that is accredited. The only other two agencies are County Sheriff's Department and State Police, so we're the only ones in the county that have that distinction. And along with that, it puts us in a really good position policy procedure-wise, because we've already adopted best practices that come down from the state. Our policies and procedures are already up to snuff as far as that goes. And but we are conducting an internal review of all those. And then along with that, there is a process that we have identified some, what Governor Cuomo refers to in his executive order as stakeholders. These are people that we work with on a consistent basis. It's going to be members from the District Attorney's Office, Public Defender's Office, local churches and schools. These people we'll have direct contact with, and we will have some specific questions for and scenarios that we can present to them, that they can give their input back on their experiences with the PD and how they feel about things going forward. And then the next part of the process is the reason why I'm really here tonight is we are going to have a public meeting. It'll be right here in this room on Monday, the 23rd of November at 6:30 at night. And so basically what that'll be is we're going to have an opportunity to come in, meet a couple of the guys from the PD, be myself and another one of the sergeants who will be here. Possibly Councilman Ball as well, I think is going to try to get down here. Our intention would be to give you an overview of the services we provide now, how we kind of do things on a day-to-day basis, maybe give you some statistics about the types of things that we do deal with. And then also give you some of the ideas that we have for reform going forward that we've been able to identify through this internal review that again has been ongoing for the last few months. And then hopefully get some ideas from the people who do attend the meeting. If there's things that they've identified that they'd like to see within the PD that we can work together and accomplish, that's the goal. So it's always great if we can partner with the community, and that's pretty much the goal of this whole thing. This whole process does need to be completed by April, and then we will present a plan for reform to the town board, which will be an overview of all these things that we've collected through this entire process, and then that will have to be passed and submitted to the state. So,
Any town board members have any questions for Mike?
No, we're good, Mike.
Mike, thank you so much. I know you'll do a great job in this. We appreciate you taking the lead on it. So November 23rd at 6:30, public meeting. People who want to be kept appraised of what the plan is about, what we're trying to accomplish with the plan. It is a public meeting. It is. Are we going to do a dial-in as well, Mike? I think we have to.
yeah.
Yes, we do. We'll publish that on the town website and the town Facebook, the details of that meeting and the call-in numbers, and So I would encourage anybody who wants to get involved to please plan to attend the meeting. And we are limited to 50 people in person, 50 people due to COVID restrictions. So if more than 50 people come, we have to cut it off at 50. So so if you do want to come, be here maybe, certainly be on time and a little early if you think it's going to be crowded. This is an important project, and Mike mentioned two things, Mike, that I just want to follow up on. One is the fact that the Waterford Police Department is an accredited police department. Accreditation is no small thing to achieve. It is a very, very intense examination of the department's policies, procedures, the history, the training, the equipment. It is a peer review of our department by other departments that are recognized as the best in the business. And to get to be an accredited agency is a real accomplishment, and is very symbolic of the professionalism and dedication of our own police department. And the second thing I wanted to mention, what Mike mentioned, Sergeant Shutt mentioned, that this executive order from the governor is the outgrowth of some egregious conduct by certain police officers in other parts of the country. And I can tell you, as the supervisor, and I know I speak for my fellow board members, very proud of the fact that we don't have complaints, very, very rarely, about our police department. They're well-liked, they're well-respected, they're highly regarded, they treat people professionally, respectfully, they do a great job protecting us. So while we have to comply with the governor's office, I want to make sure no one is under the misconception that we have to comply because we have a history of bad conduct. Quite the opposite, in fact. We have an exemplary police department, but we have to comply with the order, and we have decided that in the process of that, we'll look for ways to make the department better. We'll use this as an opportunity to look at ourselves with a new set of glasses and to get some other folks to tell us how they think we might be able to do a better job. Always open to good ideas in a process like this. So again, Mike, thanks for taking this on, and please tell the officers we appreciate how positive and open they are to this. Some departments are very threatened by it and very concerned about it. Your attitude, Sergeant Shutt's attitude has been, I can't wait to sit down and talk to people and tell them what we do and to see how they think we might be able to do it better. So we're going at this with the right attitude and with the right leadership under Councilman Ball and Sergeant Shutt. So thank you both.
Thank you.
And with that, we will go on now to general orders.
Resolved that the town board hereby approves the preliminary budget as the adopted budget for 2021.
Offer.
Second.
Councilman Ball?
Yes.
Councilman Boudreaux?
Yes.
Councilman Marble?
Yes.
Councilman McClement?
Yes.
Supervisor Wall?
Yes, and again, my thanks to the department heads, Town Budget Officer Bill Kutu, my fellow town board members for all the hard work that went into producing this very, very conservative and very difficult budget, difficult year. My sincere appreciation to everybody who cooperated so well together to make sure that everyone was involved and everyone sacrificed a little something. So my thanks to everybody involved.
Resolved that the town board hereby reappoints Manny McFarland as BAR member through September 30th, 2024.
All of that.
Second.
Councilman Ball?
Yes.
Councilman Boudreaux?
Yes.
Councilman Marble?
Yes.
Councilman McClement?
Yes.
Supervisor Waller?
Yes, and what we did, for people who don't know, BAR, the bar member, no, they're not going to a bar, they're not going to become members of a bar. What they are is they are members of the Board of Assessment Review. Those are the folks who listen and make adjustments as appropriate when people grieve their assessments. It's a board made up of citizens. It's appointed by the town board, and we certainly thank Mandy for her willingness to continue service and what at times is a very difficult job.
Resolved that the town board hereby accepts the following bids for equipment sold at Auctions International. Cytec freestanding aluminum kayak or canoe storage rack, $530. Freestanding aluminum kayak or canoe storage rack, $185. trailer with ramp, $890. 1992 Howe Brothers trailer with ramp, $660. Floating docks, $3,350.
Over. Second.
Councilman Ball?
Yes.
Councilman Boudreaux?
Yes.
Councilman Marble?
Yes.
Councilman McClement?
Yes.
Supervisor Waller?
Yes, this is all surplus equipment that we sell at an online auction that municipalities take advantage of to clean out unneeded or no longer needed equipment and surplus equipment. And it's our night to praise Harry Martell. Harry manages that for us, and over the years, he's managed a fair amount of money by managing that. Thank you, Harry.
No expense to the town.
Yeah, good point, thank you. Councilman Boudreaux just pointed out to me, there's no expense for the town to use this auction service, so the money that we just accepted as the bid, all of that money will come to the town.
Resolved that the town board hereby authorizes Jeffrey Cleary to attend the Canal New York annual meeting to be held in Fulton, New York on November 20th, 2020. Registration fee is $30.
Offer that.
Second.
Councilman Ball?
Yes.
Councilman Boudreaux?
Yes.
Councilman Marble?
Yes.
Councilman McClement?
Yes.
Supervisor Waller?
Yes.
Resolved that Kyle Woodard be and he is hereby appointed as full-time building inspector at an annual salary of $52,000 to be paid in weekly installments without the necessity of pre-audit by the town board.
Offer.
Second.
Councilman Ball?
Yes.
Councilman Boudreaux?
Yes.
Councilman Marble?
Yes.
Councilman McClement?
Yes.
Supervisor Waller?
Yes, congratulations, Scott, you're on the clock. Okay, is there any other business to come before the board? Anybody any board members have anything they want to bring forward? Don, Boyadin, do you have anything to bring forward tonight?
Not tonight.
You're good? Mary Shannon? Okay, does anybody here tonight have any questions or comments, anything they'd like to bring to the board's attention? Anybody online have any comments or questions?
No.
You do not, okay. All right, one last time, anybody have any questions or comments? All right, at this time, I would like to make a motion to adjourn to executive session. We have a personnel matter to discuss. We will not be taking any action after the executive session. It's simply informative for the town board members. Once the executive session is over, we will then immediately adjourn the meeting. People are welcome to stay until the executive session is over. No one has to go. I don't think it'll be a long executive session, but we will go behind closed doors for a brief period of time. And when we come out, my expectation is we'll simply adjourn the meeting. So, can I have a motion, please, to adjourn to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned to executive session, and I want to thank everyone for your attendance tonight. Thank you for coming and sharing your evening with us, and hope to see you all again next